up, everybody? I hope everybody having a really good day today, because I am having a confused day today. Um, I'm just so like, I know you see my daggone thumbnail, but y'all, I do not know where. I don't know where my wedding dress is. Now, I know you said, Mona, what do you mean? I had I had a gray garment bag that was in my garage. And the whole time I was like thinking my wedding dress was in there. And yesterday I just decided to go ahead and move it and put it up in my closet. And I'm like, this is real light. And it didn't dawn on to me until I opened up the bag. It was the can, you know, the little slip that goes underneath the wedding dress. So through to my horror, I'm just like, where's my wedding dress at? So I called my cousin this morning, and she's like, I know. And I'm like, I looked in that garment bag, but the only thing I saw is the skirt. She said, yeah, I remember looking in there, and there was the skirt. So I'm thinking, well, maybe I gave it back to my grandmother. I called my grandmother. She's like, no, I gave you your dress back, and I also gave you your veil. Now, y'all gotta understand, like, now I'm like, hold up. An entire dress and a veil could not just grow legs and just grow wings and fly off in the mist. So I'm like thinking, nah, Nana, because I spoke to my cousin, and she's like, check with Nana. Nana probably went ahead and packed it up. But I do remember, at first I remember I had my wedding gown when me and my husband stayed together, and when we moved, when I had to leave the house, I gave the gown back to my grandmother. But then I remember my grandmother, because something was going on with the side of the veil, that my grandmother fixed it and she gave it back to me. And now I remember that the room that I was staying in, I remember that my wedding gown was in that room, and it was heavy, it was big, that it couldn't possibly fit in the garment bag that I thought my wedding dress was in, because that garment bag was too small. So I remember when my grandmother was like, when I spoke to her yesterday, I was just like, well, I don't care. But then all of a sudden, it just dawned to me. That was the dress that I was going to later on, like, pass down to my daughter, if she wanted to do something with the dress, to just show her, this is the dress that mommy got married in. And that dress was very important to me. Everybody else can say, I don't care about my wedding dress, and you wanted to blow it up or turn it into some daggone draperies, but that dress meant a lot to me. I mean, I know when I was moving, I just didn't think too much to it, because I thought like, oh, it's right there. So I called my cousin and said, could you please check on the side and see. It's a black, it wasn't even in gray, it was in a black garment bag. And my grandmother is just through the roof. My mother is just like in shock, like, what do you mean your wedding gown is missing? I'm like, mommy, and I'm not even gonna say it's missing, I'm just hoping and praying that it's misplaced. The veil that when I got married, that veil, I got that veil from an antique place. The veil was just a mess, so my grandmother stripped it down and she redid the veil. That it was a two-part veil. That on the bottom of it there was a very long veil that had beautiful embroidery in it, and the top of the veil matched that. That veil meant a lot to me, because my grandmother, she don't even sew anymore. She used to be a seamstress, like she could sew. That was like one of her last things that she did in sewing, was my veil. Like, That dress meant a lot to me, and I'm hoping and praying that that dress is found, because if I don't find my wedding dress, I'm I'm just like, I don't even want to think about it. So when I was at Nana house, of course I was in tears. I was crying. And some of y'all again could be like, I don't care. I do my wedding. You threw your wedding dress away. That was the first dress of the last day, with me being one flesh, one individual person, and becoming one flesh with my husband. That dress meant a lot to me. The only thing I got that's left from my wedding gown is some heels and my husband's wedding shoes. But that dress meant a lot to me. That veil meant a lot to me too. Y'all, I hope my cousin call me and be like, Mona, it's right here in the closet. That dress is so big, you can't even. I remember that dress is so heavy. Y'all, if you see the thumbnail in it, if you see the thumbnail of the photo, that dress is not like you can just put it in some teeny little sandwich bag. Like, that dress was big. It was a big dress. Y'all, I went over my grandmother's house today. House today, and when we could not find it, when we went up to the attic and could not find that dress, I felt so sick. I was like, man, I gotta go home. I gotta go home. I gotta go home. And my mother is like, she remember it being in a garment bag. I'm like, I got. And just to even think that somebody somewhere could be wearing my daggone dress. And and I know some of y'all say, Ramona, I'm going to be the first to say, shut up. That was my wedding gown. I'm just hoping and praying that my cousin called me with the good news. Jesus. Like, that dress, like, I was not even thinking that dress was missing. I know it's not important to a lot of people who just, in their second, third, fourth, fifth marriages, but that dress is important to me. That dress was important to me, and, oh, man. That veil, oh my gosh. And then first I was thinking, okay, if the dress is missing, hopefully I could find it. But the veil, and when my grandmother said, no, Ramona, I gave you the veil back too. Now I'm just like, what do you mean you gave me the veil back? Then I have to remember, I do remember her giving me that veil back. Oh gosh. Please. Let me just breathe. Let me just breathe. Oh my goodness. This just blows me. Let me just breathe. I'm just I don't know what to say. Why does this thing always look like I'm just so like, I don't know what to say, y'all. I'm hoping my cousin is gonna call me and say Mona is here, because I'm really upset about that. I'm really up, and I know. And my grandmother is very particular and very good about certain things, but oh man, I'm just a little upset about that, y'all. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so I'm just finding out that my daggone wedding dress is missing. And I called my mother and I was like, Mommy, do you even know? So I'm just hoping that my cousin, I'm hoping that when she gets home, that she'll look in that corner, because even though it's a big dress, I had it like tucked in the corner. I'm just like, Lord. So yeah. So we got a big dress. And that dress, it meant a lot to me. It meant a lot to me. Somebody can imagine somebody could be somebody could be walking down the aisle with my dress on. Wearing my dress, stripping my dress up. And no, you can't get another dress when you walk down the aisle for the very first time. It's not the same. You can't even go out and say, oh, this is a much sparkly. It would never be the dress that you got married in for the first time. The rest of y'all that don't care 2 cents about your first covenant dress that you had on, no, that meant a lot. And even when I uttered it out of my mouth to my grandmother saying, I don't care, then I was like, it hit me. It dawned on me. No, I do care. I want that dress. That's my wedding dress. I wanted to show Symphony. I wanted to show her mommy's wedding dress. I got mommy's wedding shoes. I got her dad's, his shoes that he had on. That dress meant a lot to me. It meant so much to me that I can't even sit up here and be like, it didn't mean anything. It meant a lot to me. Y'all be sitting up here putting on it. That dress meant a lot to me. So I'm not even gonna say it's gone forever. It's just been misplaced. And for some odd reason, I don't know why I thought, for some odd reason, that let me show you the garment bag that I thought it was in. Come on, Tibbs. Come on upstairs and lay down. Come on. This sucks. Now, and I ain't gonna lie, because my flesh tried to get back and go to blaming everything on my husband. See? Oh Lord, just please let me have my dress. I'm praying that I think my cousin may call, because she was just like, I don't know, Mona. She was just like, Mona, I do not know, because that dress, I mean, she was just like, oh, everything had been moved. My goodness gracious. Okay. Here's Tails. Lay down. Excuse me, y'all. Taking a nap? Hold on, let me put my baby to bed. Oh my goodness. Oh, sorry. Like, I don't, let me see. So this bag right here, for some odd reason, I don't know why I thought my dress was in here. And what happened was this dress had been downstairs the whole time. And when I opened this up, the only thing that was in it was the skirt that goes underneath the actual wedding gown. See, there's no dress in here, just the actual can that went underneath. And I'm like, where's my gown at? And these shoes, these were my husband's shoes. These shoes were my husband's wedding shoes. I'm so mad. Well, I'm not mad. I'm just these were my wedding shoes. But daggone it. I'm like, okay, let me not, y'all excuse me, that's my fox right here. Oh my gosh, okay. Yeah. So could you imagine the whole entire time you thinking like, okay, you still up, Teals? You thinking like you got your wedding gown. And you don't. You don't. So that's really upsetting. That's really, really, really upsetting. I don't even know, like, that's really upsetting to me. A lot of people lose their wedding dresses, but I didn't think that I would lose my wedding dress. But I'm not even going to claim it. In Jesus' name, I'm not even claiming. I'm just going to say, you know what? It's just misplaced, and I'm hoping that my cousin call me and be like, Mona is right here in the corner. I mean, how would y'all feel? I mean, like I said, somebody on here probably like, I don't care. I got rid of my wedding dress, or I don't care. I sold my wedding. That wedding dress meant a lot. The first time I saw that dress, I was like, that's my wedding gown. The first time I saw the veil was such a special veil to me that when I took it, I said, Nana, look. And she said, oh, she stripped that veil. And what she did was, I'm just hoping and praying, y'all. She stripped that veil. And what she did was, look at that veil. That headpiece right there, that was a headpiece that looked like they had made pieces like that since the 60s. She took that and she redid my veil, and then she made sure that the train went all the way. Like, that dress could have never fit up in that piece of garment bag that I don't even know what. These are my nieces and nephews. Trying to, I mean, goodness gracious. To the creeps. I'm just like, I'm done. I'm done. Please don't. I know to other people, it might not have been anything, but to me, that dress meant a lot to me. I'm hoping that gosh, man, I'm hoping. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so upset right now. And you see how the piece came off? That long train that was on it, the piece was able to come off. Jeepers, man. How does one lose a daggone wedding dress? You lose an entire way. That dress did not grow wings and fly off somewhere. That veil was old. That veil was probably older than my grandmother remade that veil. This veil right here, you couldn't even find in David's Bridal. That veil right here, the way that veil went, my grandmother redid that. And now this entire outfit is missing. I'm not even gonna say it's missing. I'm not going to even say it's gone. I'm just gonna be like, it's just misplaced. Just misplaced. Because if my cousin comes back and say she cannot find that veil, if she say not that veil but my wedding dress, y'all, I'm gonna be mad. I'll get over it, but I'm gonna be mad. If that dress is completely, I'm going to be mad. I'm not going to be happy. I ain't going to go crazy, but I'm not going to be happy. You know, I know I'm not going to be happy. I mean, y'all know what I mean. I'm just hoping and praying that dress, that's my grandfather. I'm just hoping and praying that, it's my uncle. Gosh, man. I asked my mother, and you know, even my mother was like, what? What do you mean you can't find it? My grandmother is just like, Mona, y'all, I love my Nana. She was fanning me. Drink some of this tea. I'm like, Nana, I'm really upset right now. But I'm just going to claim that my cousin going to get home like she always saved the day. And she going to find this daggone wedding dress, y'all. Because if my wedding dress is missing, I'm going to be upset. Hey, sweets. You want some ice cream? I knew you would. It calls for us to eat some ice cream, you know. We need some ice cream. Ice cream? Let's get some ice cream for my baby. Oh, y'all. Who in the world wants to see? These are the shoes I showed y'all upstairs. You see Dad? You see your daddy? There go your daddy. Oh my goodness, somebody help me. Somebody help me. Okay. Things are okay. Things are okay. Okay, let mommy get you some ice cream. Solo, if you don't get your old behind out of this kitchen, y'all. Ice cream. Y'all, please pray for me because my cousin was at work. I called her like, look, I don't mean to bother you, but could you please? Mommy getting your ice cream. I'm getting your snacks, you know. Oh gosh, man, this is not happening to me. I am not. This is just not. This is just not. I know my wedding gown is in that closet. I know it's in that closet. Y'all, I really thought Nana was going to be like, here it is. Nana's like, no, I gave you that wedding gown back and I gave you your veil back. I'm thinking like, and then the more and more I thought about it, I remember I bought my wedding gown with me because, you know, even though I had a couple of things in storage, the last thing you want to put in storage, the last thing you want to put in storage is your is a wedding gown, because God forbid, but if you don't make a payment on the storage, you know they be ready to go ahead and auction your things off. You know what I mean? They would be ready to just say, hey, if you don't make this payment, everything up in here got to go. So the last thing I would have on baby. The last thing I would want to man, cheapest to the creeps. Yeah. Sister, mommy, that daddy, that garment thing, man. Okay. I'm just gonna believe that she gonna see the garment back, because there's no way somebody got. No, I'm not even gonna claim that. Don't nobody have my wedding gown. There's no way. I'm really hoping and praying don't nobody have my wedding gown. I really wanted my daughter to see that wedding gown when she got older, and if she chose what she chose to do with it, when she have her great grandchildren, she can say, okay, this used to be my mother. This was my mother's wedding gown. This was my mother's wedding gown. This is when everybody, my goodness gracious, y'all gonna have to pray for me. Today is one of them days when I'm just like, this is not happening. So what am I I'm hoping this is not happening. This is not happening. That I'm just going to be able to just show photos and not an actual dress. But my grandmother took plenty of photos, but this was my wedding gown that's missing in action right now. I would just say that the wedding dress is just misplaced. I'm not even going to say it's gone forever. It's just misplaced. My veil is just misplaced. Like, it's not gone forever. I'm just going to claim that. And I'm hoping that my cousin say that she knows where it is. But that was my veil. And my grandmother, again, she took that entire headpiece off and she redid it. And the veil was absolutely gorgeous. And I was grateful because on my dress, my grandmother, this was like one of the last things that she did. And that was that veil meant a lot to me. That headpiece meant a lot to me too. Some of y'all may say, well, you know that's not what counts. Shut up. I'm going to be the first to say it right now because I'm really feeling it. That's a piece of our family history that just may be gone. And yes, I'm going to have to get over it, but I still want my wedding dress. And to just even think, I couldn't even stomach that somebody else is putting on my wedding dress. Somebody who may be committing adultery. But I ain't even going to go there. But man. But yeah, y'all, this is the dress. I mean, that's the veil. That on it. My mother didn't have her wedding gown to show me. My grandmother was just telling me today that her mother, which is my great grandmother, had a wedding gown that was given to her. I'm a little upset. I ain't gonna say I'm a little upset. I am upset about it. I'm very upset that my dress is missing right now. An entire dress gone. I'm not happy. I mean, I'm not even gonna say it's gone. It's just my dad walked me down the aisle. Are you eating your ice cream, sweets? No, Daddy. Okay. These are my bridesmaids. I had a canary yellow and all white wedding. I don't know if y'all can see it, but those are my bridesmaids. So yeah, and I'm not even gonna lie, when my grandmother asked, the first thing I said was, I don't care. Then all of a sudden, the tears just started coming down. Here, eat your ice cream at the table, Tails. Come over here and eat your ice cream. Oh. Y'all, I hope I have good news to tell y'all. I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be so upset if she come back and be like, Mona, I can't find, there's no wedding gown here. I'm gonna be mad. I'm gonna be upset. Like, look, y'all, I'm human. I'm not gonna sit up here and be like, well, you know what? It's just gone and that's it. Okay, going. No, I'm gonna be mad. That you can't redo that, man. You cannot redo that. And I guess some of y'all, well, you know, some people lose their dresses in hurricanes and tornadoes and all, but I didn't lose my dress that way. Please, I just hope it's not lost. I hope it's not lost. Y'all gotta understand, when I was at my grandmother's house today, we went underneath one of her rooms. She keeps all her gorgeous clothes in and wedding dresses. Don't ask me why, but before I even got married, she was collecting wedding dresses. I went under there. She had at least 8 different beautiful wedding dresses. But of course, she was like, Mona, I would never put your wedding dress under here. And she would never even put it in the attic. We went up in the attic. It's not there. That dress was in a black garment bag and a black long garment bag. And this is the thing. I got all my furs. I got the daggone can that went underneath the dress, but I don't have the actual dress. Was it a custom? My grandmother, that veil I went into the actual headpiece that had the like wiring, I got that at a thrift store and took it to my grandmother, and my grandmother stripped that entire that headpiece, and what she did was she put new material on it and she created a two-piece veil. So in other words, like my grandmother practically made that, but that was a very vintage veil. Like you couldn't find a veil like that. You couldn't. You can go to David's Bridal or whatever. You would not be able to find that type of veil, because that's the type of veil they used to have back in 40s, 50s, hey, 60s. And I love that veil. Like, that dress was going to be in I don't know what I was thinking when I was thinking the whole time. Oh, my dress is in that small little gray garment bag. And when I look back at it, that gray garment bag had other dresses. That had my second dress to wear. You know how you change into a dress after the actual ceremony, so you won't have to be walking around with a huge wedding dress on. Well, during the afternoon, I changed into an all white dress. That dress is not even in there. But for some odd reason, I don't feel like it's lost. But if my cousin calls me, because she hasn't gotten home yet, and she tell me that my dress is not there, even my daughter looking at me like, "What, mommy?" If she tells me my dress is not there, y'all, I don't even. I'm gonna have to have a conversation with Jesus. I'm gonna be like, Lord, we gotta talk, because that dress meant a lot to me. My mother don't even have her own wedding, and from my understanding, my grandmother made her wedding dress. She don't even have the actual dress to show. Most brides, most mothers hold on to their wedding dresses to pass it along to their daughters. When they long and gone, the daughters can have their grandchildren and be like, this dress used to belong to my mother. You know what I'm saying? This is a very important dress. This is one of the dresses that your mother got married in. And it's supposed to be right before you even got conceived. And you came out of this union. This was my mother's wedding. This is very... I know to some guys it may not be, you know, they just thinking, hey, tuxedo and that's it. But no, like y'all, I'm just ranting. Hold, man. Sorry, y'all. That's but yeah. So all I can say is that hold on to your wedding gowns. Crap, man. Like, I'm so blown right now. This is me being human. I'm like blown, pissed. Like, the holidays coming up. Like, I can't even stomach it. Like, I'm just going to hope and pray that they're going to be able to find my wedding dress. I mean, that it'll be located. All right, Symphony, your shows. I'm hoping and praying that it will be located, because I'm going to tell you right now, I am not happy. I'm like, I'm like, I'm just hoping and praying that my wedding gown is fine. I mean, and is found, and I will not take anything for granted. Um, y'all, I'm just really in shock right now. I'm in shock that I I'm really in shock right now. Then I was thinking to myself, well, I still have my wedding band on. I think my husband threw his away somewhere. But when it came to like our garments, like I said, I still have my wedding shoes. But the shoes is okay. But the dress is the veil that really meant a lot to me. Like the dress meant a lot to me. The veil meant a lot because my grandmother did that. My grandmother did that veil. And then she put, thank you, John. And she put like little rhinestones, like little diamonds in them. Like, oh, come on. Please, Father, let that dress be found. Oh, my goodness gracious. I'm just praying that she finds it because I would have never misplaced. I mean, I wouldn't. I even had to look back at the storage because there were some things that I did not take with me, but it would have I would have never put my wedding dress in a storage because again, I didn't even put my daughters and my babies that went on to be with the Lord. I didn't even put their stuff in the storage because anyone knows that if you miss a payment and you behind, they will take your things and auction it off. So the last thing that you want to put is that in the storage. But even when I retrieved some of my things from the storage, that would have been one of those things that you would have never left behind. And the whole time I'm thinking that my daggone dress is in this little gray garment thing. And I'm not even thinking, Mona, that your dress was so big, you know, daggone well, it couldn't even have fit in that. So, I don't know, y'all. Just, why is that dress so important to me? Let's see. Because since I was a little girl, I always dreamed about the certain wedding dress that I was going to get married in. And that was the first dress that I saw and was like, that's it. And it wasn't even on display. I went through and pulled out and said, that's the one. They fitted me. They did the measurements. They had to take up the dress and steam it really nice. And my grandmother kept that dress. I had my wedding gown a year before we got married. My husband proposed to me, and the following year we already had a date. In the year before we got married, I knew from the time that I was I think I was in the 6th grade, I knew what song I would walk down the aisle to, and I walked down the aisle to Aretha Franklin. What was it? Glory, glory, holy, holy. I knew what song, and I knew when I was in the 6th grade. I remember drawing out my wedding that my husband would have a tuxedo that had like the tails in the back, and my husband had an all-white tuxedo with the tails in the back. I knew how I wanted my wedding gown to be. And I knew I wanted like my bridesmaids to have on gowns too. I wanted a beautiful, beautiful bright color. and I wanted my wedding to be bright, that everybody had to wear white. I remember my mother-in-law was like, you're doing something with your guests. I'm like, lady, I could care less. This is my wedding. Everybody has to wear white. All the guests, I wanted them to wear white. I didn't want to be, you know, sometimes you get the bride and the Gonzillas, and some of y'all was like, no, I'm going to be the only one with white, but I wanted everyone to have on white. And my mother, my father, everybody looked so gorgeous. The pictures were just wonderful. I had an all-white Hummer limo. My husband had on all white with the yellow, the canary yellow. It was just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. And that wedding gown wasn't just like no like I could not even go out here and say, I'm just going to get this in replace of the gown that I got married in. Just like how y'all go out here and be like, I'm just going to marry another guy in replace of the man I married years ago. Like, no, you can't replace that. Jesus, please don't let my gown be missing. Oh. I'm hoping she called me back and say, Mona, I got it here. Because if she don't, y'all, I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna have to smile and say, well, you know. You know, you gotta do one of them crazy laughs. So my wedding dress is missing, God. Lord. Oh my gosh. I really hope I can find that wedding dress. Oh. At first, I was like, I said, and my grandmother was like, where is it? I was like, I don't care. And then it hit me. Like it punched me in my face, like, pow, pow, wake up. It's your wedding dress. And like, wait a minute. Nana, what do you mean you don't have it? Honey, I don't have your wedding dress. I gave you back your wedding dress. Really? I woke up 8 o'clock in the morning and called my cousin, cuz, that bag you gave me, that only had the skirt in it. Oh my gosh. No, I'm not like the lady who took her wedding dress and had a movie. What did she have? A divorce party? And she took a bazooka and she blew up her wedding dress. No. No. I'm a traditionalist. I wanted that wedding dress that I promised till death do us part, and the one that I walked down the aisle, and the one that I was going to show my daughter when she got old enough to know that this is the wedding dress that your mother, this was the most important dress that I would have ever wore out of my entire life. Right here. To the rest of y'all that's just like, get over it, get off my video, because right now this is a rant. I don't know what my wedding dress is. Heck, I don't even know what my husband is. But daggone it, I know what he is. He's breathing somewhere in Virginia somewhere. But my wedding dress, oh gosh. Please don't let that dress be gone. Don't let no, oh Lord. Please let her find that dress, y'all. You know, it's some things you just don't give away. Some things that people keep and they just pass along. I mean, if this was Family Feud and you asked, what one dress would you keep for generations to pass on? Bing, dang, which one would it be? Oh, a wedding dress. Ding, 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 ding. That just does not grow wings and fly off in the mist. You will keep a wedding dress versus a tuxedo. I mean, yeah, like, I'm not even going to sit up here and lie to y'all. Like, I am staying calm and I am praying, but I'm venting. This is upsetting to me. I'm sorry because everybody else that gets on YouTube talk about how they sold their wedding dress for $10 because it wasn't worth anything, how they stripped it apart and used it into curtains, how they just use it as rags to wash down the car. I wanted that wedding dress. I wanted that wedding dress, and I wanted my daughter to see that wedding dress and what she decided that she wanted to do. And I wanted her to look back and say, you know what? When I grew up, hopefully not the remainder of, she remembered that her mother, like she stayed true to her vows with what she made before God. And this is the dress she wore. This is the dress she wore. I'm just trying to figure out, like, the enemy be trying so hard to try to make sure you forget things and try to discount things. You know what I mean? It's like it's not important. That was very important to me. Even my sister, like I said, when she saw my husband's wedding shoes, she was like, you still want to keep these? Yeah. Those are no regular shoes. Those ain't no old Jordans. The man that I married wore those shoes. These ain't no regular, like some regular whatever. It's a lot of you may say, "Oh, you just tripping." Okay, well, it didn't mean it to you. You see a wedding band, those ain't no regular rings. Those bands are reminders that, hey, this is a symbol. So what if your wedding gown is gone? Like, what if my wedding gown is gone forever? I guess I can look back and say it was used for that particular day at that particular time. But it meant a lot to me. I couldn't wait for my husband to see me in that wedding gown. It was just one of those where, and everybody, you know how to say yes to the dress? No, I remember when I got fitted in that dress, my mother was there, my sister was there, and I was like, this is the one. And my grandmother, she added a special, Jesus. Some things you just can't replace, man. But like anything, I'm sure I'll get over it. Anything you just say, Mona, wipe your tears. Try to convince, you can't convince me that was just any old regular dress. That was not any old regular dress. But I'm sure the tears will dry up and I'll just have to charge it to life like everybody else do who lost their wedding gown. I just did not want to be a part of that lost wedding gown crew, and I'm really hoping and praying that my cousin calls me and say, Mona, I found your wedding gown. Because if my wedding gown is not over there, I am not going to be happy. I'm gonna need to Y'all, I'm just venting right now, but I'm going to have a conversation with Jesus. My Lord. Oh, I'm not going to be happy right now. I mean, can I cry for my dress? Maybe I'm just exaggerating. Maybe she gonna call me back and say, Mona, I got the dress. Lord, I hope she do, because if she called me back and say, Mona, I don't have the dress, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it into work tomorrow, y'all. I may have to call off sick. Oh gosh, I try not to panic, but daggone, whatever. Like, Jesus, you know what? It is what it is. Whew. Like, let me get over it real quick. Let me just hold on, y'all. Sorry, excuse me, y'all. Let me just dry my tears real quick. Hold on. Cause I'm a little mad about that one. Let me just go ahead and just, excuse me, you guys. Let me just get the tears off real quick. You know, just. Oh my goodness, I was not expecting that to be lost. You know, there's certain things I have with me that I was not expecting out of all of my inventory, that my wedding dress was not in the mist. I'm like, y'all, when I opened that bag yesterday, I said, wait a minute. This is my can. That went this is the slip that went under my wedding dress. Where's my gown at? I don't know, y'all. I think I'm not going to speak for 2 weeks. I need to calm down. I need to calm down. Who knows? You know, maybe I've matured enough to just let things be the way that they are. But for some odd reason, I'm really feeling the simple fact that I don't know what my wedding dress is. I didn't think that I would be, well, no, I know I would be emotionally attached to it, but I didn't think that it was going to hit me this way, because I thought that I had my wedding dress. Okay, but whatever. I mean, I'm sure some of you who still married, you still have your wedding gown, right? Nicely tucked in a box. Or your grandmother or somebody special is holding it. And some of you may have just went ahead and sold it and was like, I'm not going to need it. My grandmother don't sew no more. My sisters can't say that, yeah, Nana, a lot of women nowadays can't say that their grandmother made their veil, and that the veil had a significance about it. A lot of people can't say that. See, that meant a lot to me. I guess pictures can do, right? I guess. Yeah. But you know what? I wore my wedding dress twice. The first time I wore it when I got married. The second time, me and my husband went to a ball, and you had to wear your wedding dress. And I remember that. I walked up in there, and I think I had the most dress that kind of went out. Oh my goodness. Whatever it is, what it is. Yeah. Y'all pray for me. Hopefully tomorrow when I'm going to work and I hear somebody talking, I don't hear wonk, 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 wonk. Because in the back of my mind, I'm just like, where's my wedding dress? Where is my wedding dress? Oh. Hopefully my cousin will text me and be like, oh, I got it. I'm going to go. You know my mother know the situation, right? So when my own mother say what? What do you mean you can't find your wedding dress? I'm like, Mommy, do you know anywhere you think I would have put it at? What do you mean? My grandmother's like, no, honey. I put everything and gave it to you. And I'm like, man up. She's like, look, if you want to look up in the attic, I'm like, let's look up, and we climbing up in the attic today. She's like, I would have never put your wedding dress. And she's right, because when we were in her one room, we were all up under everything. We were all up under everything. And lifting, my grandmother was trying to lift stuff, and I'm like, Nana, don't lift anything. I just broke down crying, and she's fanning me, drink some of this tea. I'm like, oh my gosh, Nana. I don't know what my wedding dress is, y'all. I'm hoping my cousin call me and be like, Mona, I found it. Because I'm going to be like, guess what, y'all? The dress is found. But if she called me and say, Mona, it's not here. It's going to be silence. It's going to be silence. Like, even right now, I'm silent because I'm like, I know that's not going to happen. But if it do, I guess I will have to drink a cup of tea. That's what I'll do. Sis, if I screamed it out, would you say she was screaming out? If I screamed it out right now, y'all would think I'm crazy. You would think I'm crazy. This is my wedding dress. This is like, even if you went through a divorce decree or bill of divorce, the husband don't say, and I want the wedding dress. People be like, what? This is my wedding dress here. The other day, which was yesterday, I looked up online, what does the Bible talk about wedding dresses? The Bible mentions about the wedding dress. Everybody was supposed to be dressed up for the wedding, but there was one person there who wasn't dressed up. And the groom saw, was like, what the heck are they doing up in here? And kicked them out. So please don't tell me not to trip about a wedding, my wedding dress, my wedding dress. Where is my wedding dress? Y'all, I really hope my cousin goes home and look where I asked her to look. And I hope she calls me and say, Mona, it's here. Because if she calls me and tells me that that wedding dress, my wedding dress that I got married in 2012, July the 20th, if she tells me my wedding dress is not there, I'm gonna be in silence. I think I'm only going to talk when someone's talking to me. But I'm just gonna have to really be like, Lord, that dress meant a lot to me. And I don't. Mm, mm. Yeah. Sorry, y'all. I'm all looking up. Like, I don't even want to imagine it. I don't want to even think like my dress is completely gone in the mist. I don't even want to think like something bad has happened, but for some odd reason, I don't want to think. I don't want to think that way. So I'm just gonna say that it's misplaced. Hi, sweets. Oh, sweets. Look at your beard. Let me see that beard. Yeah, a lot of people act like, oh, it's just nothing. The wedding dress is nothing. And that dress meant a lot to me. It means a lot to me. Mom is trying to look for her wedding dress. Could you help me find it, Symphony? No, Mommy. You never help me find it, no? I think this is my mother pulling up. My eyes, y'all, look like peanuts. Let me see if this is my mother because she know. No, that's not it. I thought that your grandmama was here. Okay. Yeah, we were supposed to chill at my grandmother's house. So I was like, man, I didn't feel I'm gonna have to go home. I was gonna go into the grocery store and everything to go get some gas. I'm like, I don't even want to get no gas. I'm not going to no grocery store. Yeah, but anywho, but yeah, y'all. So, 29 years. I was thinking about you the other day. I was like, Lord, my husband may not ever walk back in either. I've learned to accept that. But I kept my ring, and my ring is still on. And I stayed true to my covenant. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, the things that I kept from my wedding, of course, photos, but my husband's shoes, my shoes, and my wedding dress and veil. Now, a lot of things when you move, so you mean he committing adultery again with his second adulterous wife? You know, and I've been saying this, y'all, like, moving forward, I want to be really, really positive in a lot of things that I say and do. But there's one thing that I will never back down from, and that's what God showed me about adultery. Second marriages, even if you date, it's still adultery. And I notice I get a lot of people who want to fight me on it, a lot of people who want to disagree on it or try to find other things to quarrel about. But God is not playing with that. So don't let nobody tell you that what you had on the day that you became one flesh is not important. God understands that it's important to you. Okay? Out of all the dresses that I would ever wear, that dress, not because the way it looked, it's what it symbolized too. That dress was a dress that was just like, this is the last dress you're going to wear as a single individual person, and the first dress that you're going to wear as a covenant, one flesh, being with your husband until death. For better or for worse. And I'm going to tell you something. This is nothing but I'm hoping that I just misplaced it and my folks just didn't see it. Because if my dress is gone forever, I honestly believe that was the enemy just trying to snatch things like he usually do. Because the Lord says no good thing will I withhold. He wouldn't withhold something that meant a lot, that was very precious to me. Did y'all switch? Come on now. He is a thief. Yes, he is. And he likes to laugh too. Like, I can imagine if my dress is gone, the devil laughing like, ha ha. I took your dress, your wedding dress. Ha ha. Your husband threw away his wedding ring. You know how he liked to do. And I'm not going to let him steal my joy. I'm not. It's just that it was a dress that I really wanted my daughter to see when she got older. It was one of those dresses that I wanted to be like, let mommy show you. And go into the closet and take out this beautiful wedding gown. It's tucked away in a beautiful box. And you know how you hear those movies and the mother left it for the daughter's diary, or you know what I'm saying? Like, at least she can look back and say, this is the dress that my mother got married in. And she stayed true to those vows, that covenant. Oh, man. I'm going to... But anyway, y'all, thank you so much for listening to me vent. I'm hoping that my cousin is going to call me and tell me she found my wedding gown bag, because now the memory is starting to hit me that this bag right here, my wedding gown never fit into that. It was too big. Now I remember my wedding gown was in a black, long bag. Like, this is a very short, narrow bag. Like, you would be stuffing for days trying to put that daggone dress in it. Even the can skirt couldn't really go in there. So anyway, y'all pray for me. I'm going to get back. Trust and believe me. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. But if she tell me she can't find my wedding dress,
hi, Mommy.
That's going to disturb me. Y'all have a blessed night.
Bye.